Welcome to the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. 40 G's, by the G's que pasa en el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traiga lo nuevo. A huevo. Doesn't matter where you from, Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere. Todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos el programa, soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and buenas. How are you, LA Galaxy fans out there? We are back once again with another game preview, and it is going to be a tough one. Today, we're going to be joined once again by our special guest, MLS Español and Sounder of Heart journalist Nico Moreno, who will be here to help us preview the LA Galaxy's away match versus Seattle and see if anything has changed for the Sounders since these teams last met and the Galaxy got that 1-0 victory at the Digs. But let me introduce myself. I'm one of your co-hosts. Man, 100 shows in, it's almost there, or, you know, depending on who you ask, we are already there. I'm thankful to be here in this chair and with you guys as always. My name is Rob Jalon. For those of you guys that are tuning in for the first time, for those of you guys that are back with us, thank you once again. You can find my written work at Extra Time, and you can find me online at El Escudero, the LA. But before we go any further with anything else, I also want to introduce my co-host, Ananda Kirana, El Gitano Perdido, El Yerno Guapo. Man, he's been in the chair with me for all 100 or 100 plus episodes. Couldn't ask for a better one. Co-host, ¿cómo te sientes, papá?
Estoy bien, papá. Almost Cinco de Mayo, right? That's coming up this weekend. So you got a couple things to celebrate. Hopefully, we'll get to celebrate a Galaxy win. Although that looks pretty tough based off of all the things and numbers that I'm seeing and things that I'm reading, all that good stuff. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, I think I'm fully recovered now from the hangover in Austin, but I think hopefully, Rob, hopefully the team is recovered from that hangover in Austin. That's the most important, right? And
they went up to 6-3 too, man.
Well, I'll tell you this, Papa. Hopefully they don't stay sleepless in Seattle and they wake up.
Ooh, look at you!
And you know, and we get that dub. But we are here. Looking forward to running it back with Senor Nico Moreno. He was awesome last time, and you know, I'm curious to see too, like his thoughts on Seattle's recent mini resurgence, I would say. So lots of things to get to.
I don't know if I would call it a resurgence, but we'll talk to Nico about it.
I think they're playing better. But how are you, Papa? How are you feeling right now coming into this?
Oh man, I'm all right. Like for those of you guys that don't know, you know, Anand and I, like we touch base like throughout the day constantly, and yesterday like I went radio silent on him. It's because I got like super sick, and man, like I was just like down for the count. Thankfully I'm back by the graces of the Lord and back here with you guys, and yeah, man, excited about this Galaxy game this weekend. It is Cinco de Mayo, and there's going to be a lot of good stuff happening. Really quick, want to give a shout out to all the regular G's out there that are in the chat. We honestly appreciate it. We can't do what we do without you guys here bringing us a little life and a little energy. So big heck, let's get started. What's up, G's? What's up yourself? Crespo, LFG, Jalapeno, Binchi. Yes, I know I was late. My bad. Raul G, Vamos Galaxy Awech. Bo, hello to you as well, sir. And yes, I agree with Binchi Jalapeno. Bo is the GOAT. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, guys. Ananda, do your thing. We got a lot to get through, and we have, like you said, a really good guest who's going to break down Seattle.
Y hola, Ulises de San Bernardino. I'm right there with you, man, in the IE, not too far from me in Ontario.
Ulises,
so yeah,
muchísimas gracias.
And all Hex bringing all the IEGs out here. That's great. That's great to see. But yeah, let's get the housekeeping out of the way and let's move forward with the show. We got a lot of things to go through. I know you you got a lot of announcements and shout outs to go through as well. And of course, you
A
guys
lot of
can
good
always
stuff happening.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff for sure. Maybe a certain Colombian defender already being here. Anyways, we'll get to that later.
Hey.
So you guys can always follow, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. Those of you on YouTube, either live or on playback, you see both of our tags there. So definitely hit us up on the socials. Interact with us, DM us. We love that stuff. I love interacting with all you guys on socials, on YouTube comments, on any place that you guys can interact with us, man. We love it. So you guys can always do that, and you guys can always interact with us on the socials at La Cuna Galaxiana. Pretty easy tag there. And like Rob said, if this is your first time, welcome. If this is you coming back and hanging out with us in the chat, welcome back.
Yes.
And we love y'all. And guys, if you haven't yet done it, I'm gonna see where our PMs of likes here are, but go ahead and give us a like if you do like what you're hearing, and give us that subscribe so that you know when awesome guests like Nico and so many of the amazing guests that we've had the past couple of weeks are on. You'll get that little notification on your phone or on your tablet or on your on your device of choice. So definitely do that, and of course put someone on.
Beep.
Yeah, and of course put someone on, like Robert always says, and spread those good vibes. And the more the merrier. And of course, Robert, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, of course, before I forget, because you always remind me.
Get it.
Buenos días, tardes o noches, y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. Y como dice Crespo, hit the like button, you cobardes.
You guys can do
it. You guys could do it. And yeah, man, looking forward to this. But let's get on the shout outs, because I know Nico's going to come on in a few. So let's get those out of the way and bring Nico on so we can talk about this game.
Yeah, man. So the biggest one is, I've mentioned a couple times already, officially we've had our 100th show because we've done specials and stuff like that, but we didn't have like a 100th show celebration. So we were like, nah, we got to do it up with everybody, for the 100th show. So on Monday, May 6th at 9 p.m., we're bringing you a roundtable panel. We're going to have on some of your favorites, some friends of the show that have been on the show already. We're bringing them back, and we're going to have a roundtable discussion. We're going to have a Profe Alex Reese of the Galactic Tribune. He's killing it in the game right now. We're going to have Michelle Hutink and Christian Conway. We've had them both on the show separately, but now we'll have them on together. And of course, they're from the always wonderful Simply Soccer pod. We're going to have B-Love's Bryant Lobos from News Across the Galaxy. The Nag Boys keep on nagging. And we have Eli Lesser of Eli Lesser TV, formerly This Week in MLS. And I've always said, just like one of the coldest white boys I know, not named Austin Reeves, so
damn, Rob, bring in the heat. That's a heat. That's an all-star lineup there, my friend. And of course, all friends of the pod that
it's gonna be a good one,
with us. That has been with us through this journey, and we're so excited to have him. So guys, definitely catch that. It's going to be on Monday, 9 p.m. per the usual. We're going to have a little roundtable, maybe react to the match, maybe just talk in general, and most importantly, interact with you guys. I mean, honestly, we'll probably just
send those questions in.
We might not even have an agenda. Like, send those questions, and we might just like riff off of all the questions that you guys send, because it's the time, right? It's for us to celebrate the 100th show. So there you go.
Right. So I was even thinking of having a drink during the show. Like something that we've always talked about and we've never done, having that La Cuna after dark, and But anyway, we would love to celebrate that with you guys on Monday, May 6th. Like Ananda said, yes. I did say Avengers Assemble, and I got the cast, man. I got, like I said, I got the heavies for this one. So, please be here and have fun with us.
And I was going to say, guys, if that's not enough, hopefully this will come through, but we are working on a little surprise, a little sizzle, just a little something to commemorate the 100th show. So definitely stick around and stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, come hang, guys.
Yeah, for sure. And Adam, we will get to starting lineups in a little bit, but just between you and me, I think it's going to be the truth. Martin's kind of feeling something back there. They're not sure. So I think it's going to be the young buck. I think it's going to be the truth. But getting into these shout outs, because we do have Nico coming on talking about the Seattle match. The first one, the people have spoken. The G's out there have spoken, and Gabriel Peck is the Galaxy April player of the month. He had a goal and an assist this month, and yes, that is the image right now. I mean, if just him pointing up at the sky, everyone knows my boy Gabriel Peck is a good, Lord-fearing lad. So, he's giving it up to baby Jesus up there, letting him get those good games in. So shout out to him. Welcome home to Carlos Emiro Garces, the Colombian defender that the Galaxy just picked up. The 22-year-old has signed a 5-year deal. We already knew that broke from Pepe Serra a couple weeks ago. And today he pictured the digs in his Instagram story. So we know that he's here in LA. So that's confirmed. We know that he's here in LA. But, depending on how the visa thing goes and, how quickly he can get into training, that all depends on how soon we'll see him. I think this weekend might be a little bit too soon. But there's always a chance. We didn't think we'd see Joski. We did. We didn't think we'd see Gabriel Peck as soon as we did, and we did. So they're making it happen on the visa front. So hopefully sooner rather than later. And then of course, Adam's question of who starts alongside Yoshida. It gets a little bit more interesting because now we have another center back. So watch out for Carlos El Parce, the new Colombian defender on the back line. Everybody, give it up for him. Once a G, all's a G. Welcome to the Blue, White, and Gold. Here's a biggie, Ananda. Happy birthday to Galaxy legend David Beckham. Bex is 49 today. Of course, he's the owner of Inter Miami, or one of them. But back in his playing days, he broke the soccer world basically and revolutionized soccer in this country and basically changed the course of it by signing with the Galaxy on January 11th, 2007 from Real Madrid, basically going from the biggest club in Europe to biggest club in the United States. He played for the Galaxy 115 times. He had 18 goals and 46 assists. He won 2 Supporter Shields and 2 MLS Cups, 2011 and 2012. Geez, if you're out there, go ahead and hit me with your favorite Bex moment. I know that my favorite Bex moment, of course, was that championship game in 2012. Just the memories, man. So anyway, drop us your favorite David Beckham memory. Ananda, do you have one?
Yeah, man. That I remember where I was that game. I think we talked about this in one of our first episodes when you asked me just sort of about my fandom. I remember watching that game in a hotel room in New Jersey, right. And that was that was the game as well. Because I remember, man, it was a pretty tough time, professionally too. And that brought me so much joy. So yeah, I'm with you, man.
Well, happy birthday to Bex. If the Galaxy sees Inter Miami in the final, that's when I will not be giving you well wishes. But today, take all the well wishes in the world. 49, man. That's, just one off of 50 and still looking great in a suit, man. Bex, congratulations. And congratulations to Senor Kevin Acevedo. He was named the director of comms and PR at the Galaxy. I don't know if he was officially unveiled or anything like that, but since we get Galaxy comms emails, I saw his title change, and I just wanted to say couldn't happen to a better guy. Worked his butt off, and congratulations to him. Of course, he succeeds Vicky Mercado, who had been there for a while and did real big things. So he was working just under her, and I'm sure he's going to do amazing things as well. So congratulations, Kevin Acevedo. The Galaxy reminds you that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. This one's really simple, guys. Just, no one knows what anybody else is going through. Just checking in on your loved ones. Just be an open ear, give a hug, be there for your people. That's all I got to say. The Galaxy is also celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Month, or AAPI Month. Of course, we have 2 Japanese defenders on the Galaxy, and they became part of the first trio of Japanese-born players to start an MLS match. Of course, I'm speaking of Maya Yoshida and Miki Yamane. They did so earlier this month in the win versus Vancouver. There they are pictured with Yohei Takuaka. Ananda, did I say that right? I always say his last name wrong.
Takaoka.
Thank you so much. I always say Takaoka's last name wrong. Dang, I gotta really learn to that one. But yeah, congratulations to them, and congratulations to all our Asian American brothers and sisters and Pacific Islander brothers and sisters. Shout out to the Sad Girl sisters. Everybody has a mama. Everybody loves her. The Sad Girl Sisters are making it possible for you to give her, show her that appreciation that you have for her with these wonderful, wonderful treats. If you're listening to this rather than watching it, these are lovely rose and dipped strawberry boxes, and then they have what looks like a tres leches and berries cake with
Sheesh.
dipped chocolates on top of it. Anyway, it looks absolutely dankerific. The roses and the arrangements are beautiful. So go ahead and head over to the Instagram for more information. Go ahead and get those orders in, sooner rather than later. Mama's important. And
Wow.
of course, small businesses, right? Like they want to show you all the love that they can, and that means that they need that time, right? So go ahead and hit them up sooner rather than later. Speaking of small businesses, nominate a small business like the Sad Girl Sisters to be for a chance to be seen on social media in the big screen as the favorite small business through the galaxy. They have something going right now called Galaxy Small Business, and we've announced it a couple times, and we're actually seeing these businesses get featured at games and see their stuff thrown on social media. And this is just the latest example. JC Retrofit was honored as part of the Galaxy's Small Business Spotlight. They were at games already. Here we can see in this picture they're hanging out with Eric Zavaleta, and they look like they're having a great time. So nominate that small business, man. Like, there's a bunch of G's out here that are talented, that have their businesses going on, and they could use all the love that we can give them. So nominate that small business, y'all. Here's one that I had a great honor to be part of. Just very, very small, that I did a couple of Spanish translations for my brother Matt and Comments SC out there. They just dropped wave 2 of the Black History League cards, and that they are now available in the shop. These are absolutely awesome, man. Wave 2 features 4 new cards: Eduardo Hurtado, Donovan Ricketts, Jonathan Dos Santos, and Jalen Neal. And this Tanque one is fire. It has the flag of Ecuador in the background, which just made my heart swell. And it has him pictured as a cartoon, like all of them are. And yeah, man, he just looks like the tank that he is. I couldn't have done it better myself. So yeah, really, really happy that these are coming out.
We should send this to Don Eduardo, man. I'm sure he'd love it. Absolutely love
Oh,
it.
I already tagged him up, baby. I already tagged
there
him
you
up.
go. There you go. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure he's gonna love it.
And Matt also, I asked him for permission when we worked on these a couple weeks ago or last week, if I could let El Tanque's son know, and so I let El Tanque's son know, and they're super appreciative, man. Like it shows El Tanque, who we've had on the show, that like, we haven't forgotten about him and we still love him out here. So shout out to Comments, shout out to El Tanque. Watch out for that drop. Go to their website so you guys can go ahead and cop. They're fire. What else can be said? And of course, one of the new ones is the Truth, Jalen Neal. So everyone's got to get the hands on that one. Keeping it moving along here. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm from the AV. Not a lot of stuff goes on in the AV, and so I'm proud that they are getting a soccer team. The USL AV crest and name reveal and block party happened on Friday, May 17th from 6 to 9 p.m. That's happening in downtown Lancaster at the intersection of Lancaster Boulevard and Elm. There's going to be music, food trucks, and games. Admission is free. And again, this is great for the community out there, and brings the community together. I can't wait to go to the first game, man. I'm gonna be there. Like, I know the homie Lester always puts up the meme, I will be there no matter what. Yes, that is me when the first game happens. And I'm gonna be cheering my head off. Keeping it moving here, we have First Fridays. LA Riot Squad, they have their First Fridays event coming up on May 3rd, this Friday, obviously, at Del Rio Lanes in Downey. That happens from 8 p.m. to 9:50 p.m. If you're on the fence about going to one of these, just go, man. Like, they're so fun. People are gonna just come up and just shower you with Galaxy community. They're lovely events, man. Again, First Fridays, Del Rio Lanes, make it happen. Also, this weekend there's the Cinco de Mayo pub crawl. And now that I almost want to say, like, we should try to do SADA again. for you at this, because you only got a 6.5 out of 10 for your last performance. So I think you might be able to increase that if you did something like this. But geez, there's a Cinco de Mayo pub crawl, starts on 2nd Street in Long Beach. It begins at 12 p.m. and it starts at Dog's Bar and Grill or Shannon's Bayshore Saloon. What's really cool about this is that you get a punch card when you started at Dog's Bar or Shannon's Bayshore, and if you hit 3 of the 5 sponsoring bars here, you get a Long Beach Pub Crawl t-shirt for free. So go ahead and hit this pub crawl, y'all. Looks to be a lot of fun. That ends at Legends Restaurant and Sports Bar, where people will be getting together and watching the Galaxy game versus Seattle. Other May Galaxy watch parties is that May 18th VIP viewing experience at 909 Sports Bar at Yamava Resort and Casino. That's $30, but I mentioned it last pod. That's pretty good value. It includes transportation to and from, VIP seating at the watch party, a $15 food credit, a $20 gaming credit if you're a new Serrano member, and a drink voucher for Modelo. Questions should go to fan engagement at lagalaxy.com. Marvin did let us know last pod that, of course, since it's a casino, Yamava is 21 and over. So if you're under 21, this is not the watch party for you, y'all. And then we also have other watch parties this weekend. Absolution Brewing, they are throwing their usual watch party for away matches, and this poster goes really hard, man.
Yeah. I was just gonna say the same thing. Amazing poster. Need to get a print of that.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. For those of you guys that are listening to this, it's like that Mars Attacks style, like B-movie, like horror flick style, but it's super cool. It has like a bunch of UFOs and flying saucers coming into like attacking the Space Needle area. So yeah, man, it's yeah, like I said, it's super fire. Would love to know who made that. So anybody has a lead on that, let me know. We also have the IEGs, Big Heck, once again back out there. I saw that Big Heck is giving away all these free shots. There's like these drink tickets that say shot on Hector or like on Hector's tab. So dang, I didn't know Big Heck was balling like that. But right on, Big Heck. So IEGs will be at Common Ground in Oak Glen. There's going to be mariachis, folklorico, a lowrider car show. That'll be kid and pet friendly. And of course, like I mentioned, a chance to have a shot and win a shot from the homie Hector, who is going to be in Seattle. He just let us know. So
that's awesome, though.
Yeah, I mean,
have an amazing away trip, Hector.
Yeah, for sure, man. I just want to know who he's giving his card to to go ahead and get those shots. But I'm sure they could always just hold on to the ticket and get them later. But anyway, Heck, have an amazing time, man. And of course, Angelino Empire and the IE Casuals is going to be at My New York Pizza in Rancho Cucamonga. They're going to be doing a jersey raffle and more fun stuff out there. So go ahead and hook up with them if you're in Rancho Cucamonga. Gary Cambrone says that Hector is delegating shot duties. Good stuff. It's an important job. Somebody's got to do it. Guys, on May 11th, the LA Galaxy will be doing a stadium giveaway. It is Star Wars night in the building. The Galaxy will be giving away 10,000 LED light up foam sticks, and you'll also have a chance to buy a Jalen Neal Rebel pilot bobblehead, of course, like Star Wars, and you could go ahead and add on that to your account for $15. And then we have one of my favorites that I'm probably not going to attend this time around in Onda because I go to ham, the LA Galaxy Foundation equipment sale.
It's for your own good.
Yes, I know, man. I don't want to get in trouble.
We just had a great time, and you were like a kid in a candy store in Austin. So there you go. I think for your sake, Papa, need to leave this one. But for the other G's,
just stay away, right? All right.
For the other G's though, Saturday, May 11th, equipment sale for sure. The details are there on the screen. But
what's really cool about this one though, man, is that all proceeds go to benefit the LA Galaxy Foundation, and it is a tax write-off. So you know what? If maybe I can swing that argument. Hey, it's a tax write-off, and it's for the kids, it's for the children. Matt, thank you for letting us know. Comments will be back at London's Pub in Artesia on Sunday.
There you
go. We didn't know about that one, but thanks for letting us know and putting us on. We'll definitely get the word out for that one. Guys, that equipment sale is May 11th. You can score team issued or team worn gear. Go ahead and check it out. I will not be there, unfortunately. Congrats to VCFC keeper Brady Scott. He was nominated for MLS Next Pro's Goalkeeper of the Month. Staying with VCFC, they're currently in first place. Their next game is on the road against Minnesota United FC2 on May 12th. That happens at noon. You can watch that on MLSNextPro.com. But their next home game, and the one we're all waiting for, is Sunday, May 19th, where they are at their new home at the Willie Roll. That'll be at 5 p.m. They host Real Monarchs, and tickets are now on sale. GA is $15, premium is $20, and season tickets are $170. VCFC is having a ticket competition for this one. 10 lucky Ventura County FC fans will have the chance to win 4 tickets to the home opener on May 19th. And then 40 people will also be given a VCFC game day scarf. More info on how to enter on their Instagram. This is a Galaxy pod, guys, but we would be remiss if we did not congratulate the Columbus Crew for making the CONCACAF Champions Cup final with their 3-1 second leg win over Rayados de Monterrey. They won 5-2 on aggregate. They now face Pachuca in the final. They are one of the original clubs. So got to give it up to the originals, right? And they are the original yellow and gold. I saw that there was a little tizzy amongst fans there. So you know what? Just got to give it up to the originals right there. And you'll have a chance to watch all these kinds of games on Apple. As everybody knows, MLS is now on Apple. So if you want to watch MLS soccer, that's where it's at. They announced a price break yesterday, however. The pass now costs $69 for the remainder of the 2024 season, down from its original price of $99. And then if you're already an Apple TV Plus subscriber, it goes for $59. And this one was widely praised, Ananda, and I'm talking about this club roster profiles. Did you see this happen, man?
I did, yeah, and we retweeted about it too. Of course, we're just checking on the Galaxies here, but I thought it was interesting. Let me just put this at a full screen so you guys can see it.
What stuck out to you?
The thing that stuck out to me, a couple things. So I even, I tweeted about it. So obviously we knew about Garces, but now it's like written in stone, right? So he is signed through 2028. I think the one thing too is that, and I think we know about this, but we have an extra U22 to play with. And clearly with all the discussions around Miguel Berry, the attacking prowess or the lack of attacking prowess that we have off the bench, I think we might need to use that and send Tam. Obviously, in all this, though, it's very unclear to actually know how much TAM we have. I mean, conceivably, we probably use TAM on Emilio Garces as well. And then the other thing, too, is the expiring contracts, right? Robert, you've got people like Daniel Aguirre, Maya Yoshida, even though there's I don't know if it's a player or club option, but you've got Martin Cáceres, names, even Mark Delgado has an option for 2025, and this is his last year. So there's some very interesting roster things to think about moving forward. And I think when Will Kuntz looks at this, I want to say that he's probably happy with the flexibility depending on what happens this year, right? So I think all those signs are positive. But yeah, I think those are the 3 things that I honed in on. Is there anything else that you took out of this or that you honed in on?
Can I mention that, just totally away from the Galaxy aspect of it, which I'll get into in a moment. As a journalist, this is great that they're doing this. Like the sense of transparency now is wonderful, because we haven't had this before, right? For for time eternal, it's been like, well, is he a designated player? Is he this? Is he that? Like, and of course, it'd be amazing if they did one step further and they let us know, like, financials and stuff like that, which eventually they do towards, when they give us the MLS Player Association, like, contract reveals, but that happens like much later in the season. But if they did it, at the beginning, it'd be so much better. But this is a good step forward for the league, right? I mean,
Yep, totally.
we're
And it allows Josh not to have to do so much work, man. Because this, like, for us, at least for Galaxy folks, like, Josh was really the shout out corner of the Galaxy, man, with all the work that you do. And he was the resource, right? He was the guy that would be doing all this. But it's great now that it seems like there's a team or someone heading up this sort of, like you said, the level of transparency with these roster profiles. So this is great, man. Definitely a positive step for the league in general. And it helps too, right? Like create engagement with the sport, right? Especially for, like, geeks and nerds like us, like that love this stuff. I mean, this is a really, really good resource to have.
Yeah. So for those of you who aren't in the know, Major League Soccer today released club roster profiles for each of their 29 teams today, which was the first time in league history that that's ever happened. The club roster profiles provide a snapshot into how the roster for each club was made, basically, and how it happened. So it's a really big deal. But yeah, man, like Ananda said, there are things of note there. Mainly, Garces contract through 2028, which means they're putting a ton of faith in Garces. Ricky Puig is still listed as having his contract end in 2025, even though a contract extension has pretty much been announced, and Gabriel Peck is listed as a young DP. I don't know, Ananda, if you mentioned, that I know you mentioned about expiring contracts, but we definitely need to get Mark into an extension. Hercules Gomez called that one out a couple months ago. And Dayon is still listed as a U22. I'm assuming that changes when he signs a new contract. But it'll be interesting to see how other teams are constructed as well. The big one everybody wants to know about is Inter Miami, because Angel Di Maria was announced today to be considering signing there.
How?
Well, now you can check their roster
Right.
composition and make sure everything is on the up and up, which I looked at today, actually, and it is on the up and up. So I mean, they'll probably have to make a move here and there, but yeah, I mean, right now they're there, man. So it's like, hey, then that's what all this is there for.
So Robert, what you're saying is they're gonna get rid of Leo Campana and we're gonna pick him up as the
God, I hope not. God, I hope not. I'm sorry, man. Like, he's a nice lad, but I mean, anybody who knows, like, has been watching Campana for a while, just will know he's not the guy. Just he'll be a more expensive Miguel Berry. How about that? So cash me outside. How about that?
His stats are better, and we've looked at him before. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's see what happens.
Alrighty. Well, we'll be able to look at teams and their composition, like Inter Miami, but then we'll also be able to look at, direct opponents like Seattle, who is the Galaxy's next opponent. And so we bring you back once again because it was so nice. We had to do it twice. Here to help us preview the LA Galaxy's next home match against the Seattle Sounders is Sounders at Heart and MLS Español journalist Nico Moreno. Parce, bienvenido de nuevo. Gracias por estar con nosotros.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Always a pleasure to be on with you guys. We had a good time last time. We had a little more time. I got to say, today I have a hard out about 10:05, 10:10 at the most, but I'm excited to be on with you guys. I'm glad that we had the long extended version, a couple of weeks, about a month ago. Today, we'll get right to business. Tough game for Seattle, so I'm here for you guys' benefit. You guys tell me where to go, what to say, what to do. I'm ready.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I
do
have rent coming up. I need you to write a check, and it needs to be for this amount. But no, yeah, no, we'll break right into it. Like you mentioned, we were here like 5 weeks ago. It was the fifth game of the season, and Seattle was in the dumps. Ananda claimed at the top of the show that they're rounding into form. I disagree, although they had a big win yesterday. Tell me about that big win. Were you expecting it?
First of all, I don't think much has changed. Yes, that win helped. I said it. I think I've done 4 shows today, and in every single one of them, I started with saying, "There's a pulse, baby. There is a pulse. They are alive." That's all you wanted to see out of one of these 2 games. I did not expect it. I was hoping for 1 at the most, 1 point out of 2 games, and they didn't do that. So that alone is winnings. That's house money. You come back from a tough road trip, one in which you knew that you had a limited and set lineup, as you did in Philadelphia. Another one against a tough DC team, where, to be honest, Seattle played well, and and I'm talking about the second half. It's tough in this league for you to go ahead and give a half away and then try to come back. But Seattle did it with some finesse. They did it with some passion. They did it with some inspired play, and that carried on into that Philadelphia game. So they played on the weekend, and they knew they had a Tuesday game. They made some changes. Moose started up top. You made some changes in the midfield. Leo Chu wasn't going to play because you knew he was going to play in Philadelphia. So you rotated some pieces. Things worked out in the second half for Seattle, but at the end of the day, what really conducts success is results. I mean, you can have moral victories, you can have good play, you can, say, hey, we're gonna build off of this, but result is what really matters in this league, especially for a Sounders team that's in dire need of it. So that game, you thought you did well. You fought hard. Stefan Fry got a red card, one that was rescinded, and we'll talk about that here coming up. And then against Philadelphia, I think that the team, after spending some time with each other, we spoke to Obed Vargas today, and he said that there was some importance to just being on the road for 5 days with your mates in a hotel, playing dominoes, playing cards, hanging out at the hotel, talking about things not related to soccer. And I think you kind of saw that here in that Philadelphia game. They just look sharp. They look united. They look good. I thought Obed Vargas was an X factor this team did not expect in that one. His ability to break lines, pressure lines with the ball, dribbling through. That goal he had was unbelievable, right? He kind of gives you a Denise Buanga, or someone said Lionel Messi today, but I just don't like to compare anybody to Lionel Messi because that's just wrong. But, he cuts it inside, puts it on the far post. So I thought he was a good player. Raul Ruiz, being that vintage Raul, heads up play. He intercepts a pass, picks up his head, sees the goalkeeper's too far from his goal, goes for it, puts it behind him. That kind of propelled that victory. But you had moments of miscommunications. You had moments of bad game management. And that's what this team needs to find, is some consistency. So it was a good game. It was a good victory. When you're in the dumps, it's all good. They say que con mucha hambre no hay mal pan. It's kind of that sort of thing.
Right.
They're hungry for points. Any win works. And that's what happened there in Philadelphia. So is it a kind of moment in this season where they turn it around? I'm not sure to call that just yet, but it was a good win for Seattle in Philadelphia.
One of the things that I heard today while listening to commentary on Seattle and their victory was that despite the win, people have never really seen a Seattle that makes these kind of mistakes in the back right? So, that's of course it's always easier to talk about the negatives, right? But what did the team do well collectively in the win?
I think transition play, link up play, and just plain old finishing. And um, colmillo, a little bit of just smart soccer IQ. You feel Obed Vargas feels that bump in the box, lets his body go. You get that PK. Leo Chu, not a fantastic game, but in Obed Vargas's goal, he lays off the ball, makes the run, takes the defender with him, opens up the space for Obed Vargas to kind of walk into. So I just thought that there was some smart moments and some good attacking movements. So I think that's the biggest thing Seattle did, was show you that it can be dangerous, that there is some magic, that you do have a guy like Raul Ruiz that might not be Optimus Prime Raul Ruiz, but he's gonna still give you some magic. Defensively, they limited Philadelphia at times. They had some boo-boos, and that's why the goals came through. But I think that offense is what we were asking for, and that's what Seattle gave you in Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, guys, we see where Seattle is now, or how they got to this point. Let's get into this game preview. This match will be on Apple TV. All Apple TV matches this week will be for free. This match will also be on FS1, Fox Deportes, and TSN. Through 10 matches, the LA Galaxy hold a 5-2-3 record, 21 goals for, 15 against. They have 18 points, and they're tied for first place in the Western Conference standings. They're in second on goal difference, not goal difference, on the tiebreaker, rather. They sit in second place in the Supporter Shield standings behind only Inter Miami. They have a game in hand, however, and they're averaging 1.8 points per game. Like El Parcenico said, Seattle is showing signs of life. They might be on their way back. They've improved slightly since the teams last met, punctuated by a 5-0 win and that 3-2 win over Philadelphia that just happened last night at the time of this recording. They have a 2-3-5 record. They're even on goals for and against with 13. That's brought them up to 12th place in the West on 9 points and 0.9 points per game. I say that they're rounding into form a little bit because they only had one win from their first 8 matches, which is their worst start in Seattle Sounders history. However, they did show signs of the old Seattle versus Philadelphia, which is a really good road win. They did hang on. They did have those boo-boos, like Nico said. They let in 2 goals in 2 minutes, but behind 2 goals from Raul Ruiz and Obed Vargas scoring his first MLS goal off of a Leo Chu assist that Nico told us about, who, by the way, I'm scared of that man, Leo Chu, because he always plays well against the Galaxy. But we'll get to that. They were up 3-0 at the 37th minute, and then it almost fell apart for them, but
Yes.
they hung on, and thankfully they did, because they had 2 losses before that, and that definitely would have been a ugly little streak going into this match. They had that 2-0 loss to Vancouver at home and a 2-1 loss to DC United away. Another thing I heard today, Nico, was that Seattle is complacent. And what they meant by complacent was that they haven't brought in fresh players to challenge the players that have been there for a while. Your Jordan Morris's, your Ruiz's, your who else?
Christian Roldan. Alex
Roldan. Yeah. So are they complacent? Has it gotten stale? Do you need fresh blood, either through a manager or new players? Or will you get that kind of new signing effect when you get all these injured players back?
The problem is that you've gotten some of those injured player back, and are they in full fitness? Are they in full game rhythm? Maybe not, but it's still concerning. And I will preach and I will relay what I've been saying all week long, is that the reality in Seattle is that, as it is true in every sport, not just soccer, football, baseball, basketball, there's eras, there's moments in time that a franchise is at its best, a golden generation, if you will. That's what Seattle had over the last 10 years. It's really difficult for me to think that in the next 10 years, they're going to win 2 more titles in a CCL or a CONCACAF Cup, because it's something that they had never done. It's something that no club had really done in MLS in that span of time. And you knew that was coming with the departure of Lodero, Raul Ruidiaz coming to the end of his career, knowing that Albert Rusnak's a good player and he's your DP, but is he a guy that's an X factor, that's a game changer, that's going to come and take your franchise to a whole new level? I don't think so. And that's just me being frank with you, with the audience. So because of that, I do know that logic and history and everything that you may try to mathematically put together and say, this is what we had and this is what's coming, there's a rebuild underway. And rebuilds usually happen with new players, new coaching, new play style. So I feel like that's underway. So this team, for me, has good players. I think that once Pepo de la Vega, they will have one more X factor. Can this team in the offseason bring a U22 player, which they do have an open spot for? Can they surprise everybody and let go of one of their DPs, buy him out, transfer him, and go and get a superstar? Maybe. But I just don't know how likely that is. The reality, again, is that Craig Weibel, Sounders GM, maybe wasn't aggressive enough. Maybe did not do enough in the offseason to make sure that a team that had some real struggles offensively in 2023 had better players in 2024. You had 4 signings this season, and only one of those was an attacking player. You brought Nathan from San Jose, has barely played. Bell, another defender, has barely played. Pepo, which was supposed to be your young DP, your X factor, your go-to guy, the guy that was going to put it all together, baby, and he's been injured. And then finally, you end up with a guy like Braudila Rodriguez. You have a guy like Masowski. That's your 5th signing, really, because Badrillo, I don't really count as a full-on signing because he was a Tacoma Defiance player that you brought up. So Musowski is really the 4th player, and he's a good role player, and he's done well, and he can come in and do some things, but is he a guy that you're going to really count on? Not really. When we count those 4 players, not Braudilio, they've had maybe 350 minutes with all those 4 players. That's just not enough. And because of that, I feel like Seattle's been limited. I feel like Seattle, I don't want to call them complacent. Maybe they had the wrong idea. They thought that Jordan Morris could be the 9. They thought that Jordan Morris could be that elite striker that he's not. And I fought that. I asked about that. I said, he's not a striker. He's a winger. I asked Craig. I asked Brian. I asked everybody until finally in week 5, week 6, Jordan said, I like the wing. I feel better in the wing. I play better in the wing. And I was just like, well, I think we all knew that. So I think it was a little bit of not putting players in positions where they could succeed. I don't want to call it complacency. I just thought that they had those positions filled, and then bringing in guys that were not going to affect the game in what you were not doing well last season, which was on the offensive end.
Oh man, it sounds like, and we called this out before 5 weeks ago. It sounds like a lot of the stuff that was happening to the Galaxy last year is happening with Seattle. There are a lot of parallels here. But yeah, getting into this match here, the Galaxy play their 2nd consecutive game on the road. It's always tough going to Seattle. This will be the 50th meeting across all competitions between the 2 teams, and the Galaxy trails the all-time series 17, 19, and 13. The Galaxy hold a 11, 14, and 13 record in league play against Seattle, and 18 regular season matches played on the road against Seattle. They hold a 4, 8, and 6 record. And the Los Angeles Galaxy will be looking for their first regular season win on the road against the Sounders, dating back to a 2-1 win on July 9th, 2016. It gets worse, guys. In the last meeting between the two teams at Seattle, LA fell 2-1 at Lumen Field. The only glimmer here is at the first meeting of this year, the Galaxy earned a 1-0 shutout win in the rain, where the rain was the big storyline there. But the last time the Galaxy beat Seattle in consecutive league matches, do you guys want to take a guess? What year?
2018.
Ananda?
2014.
Almost 2015. The last time the Galaxy beat Seattle in consecutive league matches was a 3-1 win at home on Sunday, August 9th, 2015, and a 1-0 home win on April 12th, 2015. I didn't even check to see how if the Galaxy have gotten 2 consecutive away wins against Seattle, but I'd be willing to bet that it hasn't happened, or if it happened way long time ago. But the Galaxy has been a pretty decent road team this year. In 6 road matches played in 2024, they hold a 3-2-1 record, 12 goals for, 10 goals against. However, they were held scoreless for the first time on the road and all season last weekend in Seattle when me and Ananda were there to watch them lose.
Austin. Yeah.
What did I say?
Man. You said Seattle. Yeah, that was
my bad.
Super tough.
Yeah, Austin.
Josh Wolf masterclass, man. And this is what I'm saying last week. I told Rob after that game, Nico, I said, even to the fans around, I said, Schmetzer's taking notes right now. He is taking some notes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And trying to figure out what he can do to basically recreate a Josh Wolf masterclass. And I never thought I would put those two things together, but that's basically what it was. So,
Anandita, take us through these Galaxy injuries or who might be missing here from this lineup.
Yeah, so this is per, and I'm sure Nico can sort of amend this a little bit, but this is just per FOTMob. So for us, you guys see on the screen there. So obviously Ricky Puig is going to be a big miss. We'll talk about him in terms of the prospects of the Galaxy in this match. He is suspended for that silly yellow card that he got, red card accumulation essentially.
Leon.
And Dayon, well, I don't know, Rob. I don't know if you've heard of an update.
Well,
I think
we'll find out tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow.
And then on the Seattle side, it's interesting, and I'm sure Nico can sort of back me up or amend this as needed. But Stefan Fry is suspended with a red card. Alex Roldan is suspended for this game as well.
Oh, yeah. Fries is rescinded.
Stefan Fry is rescinded. Okay.
Right.
So and then you've got, got a couple of injuries there. I don't know, Nico, if you want to just expound on just the latest that you're hearing from the Seattle camp in terms of team news.
So basically everything you guys said, Steph getting his red card rescinded was great. Unfortunately, the coach kind of said it sucks that we don't get anything out of it because we got kind of duped in DC. He should never have been sent off, but it's all right. We get him back. So he'll be there. Alex Roldan will not be part of this game. Brian alluded to Christian Roldan having to drop a line. Maybe Obed Vargas, who had a really good game against Philadelphia, maybe playing that white side on the right. Reed Baker-Whiten is getting there, but won't be there. Nathan, we were told today that he's out 6 to 8 weeks with a leg injury, I believe, on top of my head. But long story short is that he will not be there. He will not be part of this game, again, 6 to 8 weeks. So those are the injury kind of aspects of it. Pedro La Vega won't be there, as everybody knew already. So the only absences that they'll have for this one is Alex Roldan on that right backside. But aside from that, everybody should be there that we expected to be there. They'll have their first lineup for center backs, for forwards, midfield. So they'll have pretty much a full-on team.
So, and really quick, Robert. So it's interesting because I'm going to pick up on something that chat is saying right now. So Hector asks, who's going to be the number 10? I'm assuming he means for the Galaxy. You've got calls for Brugman, for Gundes, it's interesting, right? So I pulled this up, and this is per FOTMob, based off of all the suspensions and card accumulations and injuries, etc. What the projected lineup would be, and I think it's interesting for us, right? The big question mark is around Dayon, which we'll find out tomorrow. If he doesn't start, Robert, so do we give another shot to Miguel Berry? I mean, of course, like, the last game, fans were calling for his head already, like they were not pleased with him.
It was one
And
game too.
And remember, guys, Miguel Berry started the last game. Dayon also missed the last game against Seattle. He started up there in kind of like a 4-4-2 with Joseph Paintsil, and he did not have a great game either. If I looked up his stats earlier, he had no shots on goal, and I think he had only 3 or 4 touches in the opposition box. So again, pretty ineffective as a starter, right? And then the other piece of this is who is going to start in the number 10. I think, Rob, if we've got a couple of options. I actually think I'm calling for Fagundes to start this one. Rob, you and I have been talking about Fagundes this year as being sort of the best attacking option we have off the bench, and him as a number 10, I could see that working in terms of linking the defense or the midfield and the attack, and he's very, very savvy. And you and I have said this year he's come into this year looking very, very sharp. And I think he deserves that start. You remember in the second half against Austin, I thought he did a really, really good job, I thought, in trying to create space, sort of make sort of those match-winning plays. It just didn't happen for us. We just had a terrible game, I think, in general, and it was a bad day at the office. But I would love to see us start with that. And if we need to, obviously we have Cerrillo in the back as well. So I think it's going to be interesting what Vanny does. Because, you could put Cerrillo in there for better ball progression, but I don't know, man. I'd love to see Fagundes starting that number 10 for this one.
I know we don't have Nico for too much longer, so I want to first ask him if his last danger man for Seattle is still the same one, Raul Ruiz, if he needs to be the danger man for Seattle, and then before he leaves his prediction. So go ahead and hit us with your danger man. Is it still Raul?
Yeah, I mean, I apologize here. I gotta pick up my son because his car's not working, so I gotta go get him. That's on me. That was unexpected, but yes, I think my danger man will continue to be Raul Ruiz because he's your goal scorer. He's your magic man. He's the guy that, just as I said last time I was on here, he also helps in link-up play. He ends up opening up spaces for those wide players. However, I will say he's gonna need a little bit of help in this one. So Jordan Morris or Obed Vargas, the wing play is going to have to be important because anytime that Julian Aude is coming out, you got to occupy that space. You got to make him defend. You got to make him pay every single time that he's pushing forward. So because of that, he's going to need a little bit of help. But the goal scorer, el matador de este equipo will continue to be Raul Ruiz. And without gunpowder, baby, you got no boom. So he's your gunpowder. He's the one that's going to make it happen. Is Seattle going to have to do close to a perfect game? Yes, because I am, and this is coming from a guy that watches both teams consistently. I don't think I've missed one LA Galaxy game. I was blown away, and I am a betting man. I lost a little bit of cash in that LA Galaxy game against Austin, but I do expect Greg Vanney to exploit and push and challenge wide play. Christian Roldan might be a great player. He really is, but he's not a right back. He might have to play there. Nuhu has had a lot of issues defending, something that he hasn't had in the past, whether it's bad reads, whether it's getting forward too high. You can't do that against Paintsil because if you're one step too far, he going to burn you. And he's going to be, you're not catching up. I don't care if you're Nuhu. I don't care who you are. You're not catching up. So Seattle's going to have close to a perfect game. But Raul Ruiz is still my magic man for this one. I will give you my conclusion, my thoughts on that final score. I still believe that the LA Galaxy, even without Ricky, will come in to Lumen Field and pull this game off. I really do. I feel like they are going to get the win simply based on having a bigger volume of an offense and exploiting some of the things that Seattle might give you, and a Sounders offense that maybe has one goal, maybe has two, because Cáceres has had some issues getting back. in general, set pieces, transition play, LA Galaxy has given up a bunch of goals. I get that. But Seattle's offense has been very inconsistent. They scored 5 against Montreal, and then it was over. That thing ran dry. They just scored 3 in Philadelphia. Does it run dry? I think there's a high possibility of that. And therefore, I think that in this particular time, with this particular set of players, there's more X factors, more game breakers, game changers in the LA Galaxy side, and therefore I'll give them this game. But I appreciate you guys having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Gracias.
I apologize for having to leave so quickly.
No,
but
familia
I
primero,
love
papa.
being on with y'all.
Hey,
Thank you, man.
Good luck to your son. Thank you so much for being on. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks
Nico,
for running it back with us, man.
Nico Moreno, everybody, go ahead and check him out. Gracias.
Yeah, El Rolo NW. We have Soccer Bar, which is right here, Mondays and Thursdays, 9 to 10, all Spanish, all MLS. We cover absolutely everything on Thursday morning, 7:30 to 8, our time. I'm also on Thursdays with Nico in soccer down here in Atlanta. Check my stuff out in Sounder Hard, MLS, yes, Pulso Sports. Thank you guys for having me.
Gracias. Thank you for being here, man. Gracias. Te vemos, parce.
Ciao, parceros.
All right, y'all. So thank you once again to Nico, who has been on the show before, and like I said, so nice. We had to do it twice. Thank you to him.
I love his energy. I love his energy, man. He's just so muy apasionado,
and so comprehensive too, man. Like I like the way he can, like, sometimes he gets going, and I'm like, where's he going with this? And then he threads the needle, and I'm like, yes, I like it. So, well, Ananda, you were telling us about who you saw, taking up these positions, but go ahead before we get into our predictions. I know you absolutely love your stats, so go ahead and lay it on us so we can go ahead and have a more informed decision when it gets to predictions. And chat, feel free, start dropping those predictions in there. We'll see what you're thinking. Ramizes, you made me chuckle with that one. Dingleberry, no. Starting Maluma up front. Maluma, baby, for sure. But Dieguito. Ananda, decinos tus stats.
Yeah, I wish I would have asked about this one with Nico. He might have alluded to it in a little bit, but when I was looking at the stats, Rob, I did a little different this week in terms of since this is the second time we are seeing Seattle. I wanted to see, because again, my hypothesis coming into this was, Seattle is resurging, right? They're on an upward trend, even though the points might not say that. But of course, we've heard from Nico from the eye test, at least it doesn't seem like he's convinced yet. But so if you look at sort of, I have it on the screen here. For the audio listeners, I'm going to narrate this as best as possible. So I've got expected goals from when we were coming into the match on match day 6 versus now coming into this match. And LA Galaxy are still in the top. We've kind of regressed a little bit, Robert. We're still in the top 4. We're 4th in the league now with 18.7 expected goals through 10 games. Seattle, they were 20th in the league, and surprisingly, Robert, they are 5th in the league in expected goals at 16.2. And so that's why for me it's a little bit surprising, because are they, and again, we can look at the big chances next, but it seems to me like at least from an expected stats perspective, the underlying stats are saying that they are improving. You know what it is? It might be that they're not being as clinical. If you look at the big chances, LA Galaxy still leading there at 34 big chances. That's second in the league. Seattle, they were at 23rd, so more towards the bottom of the league at 7. But now Seattle is at 23 big chances into 15th. And you know what, Robert, maybe the last game against Philadelphia, they had a lot of big chances as well. Probably should have looked that up before this. But I just thought it was interesting that they are offensively looking a much, at least more potent unit than they were earlier in the season when we met them, right? Go ahead. I thought you were going to say something.
Yeah, it's I think it's heavy with that 5-0 against Montreal that Nico mentioned.
Yeah,
that 3-2.
That's also true.
I think that a lot of I think that those 2 games pad these stats for them a little bit.
That's fair.
I guess if you notice, they won against Philly, but they lost the 2 before that. They tied the one before that. And they didn't score a lot of goals in this one. And those, and like Nico said, they scored the 5 and then they dried up. So That's why like I mentioned, I don't think they're really on their way back yet. I think, like Nico said, they have a pulse. They're like trying to like start something back up, but not quite there yet. We'll see what happens against the Galaxy this weekend. Really, I mean, it's a big game for both teams because
Absolutely.
like I mentioned on the last pod, I mean, they lose Wisconsin, that's 2 in a row, right? Then they have Real Salt Lake at home, which is going to be a difficult match. Just because it's at home doesn't mean it's a win. And you know, they drop that one. That's 3 games in a row. You know, and then they have 2 in a row, 2 in 1 week. You know, with heavy travel. So you know, it's dangerous here. It's a slippery slope. But you know, we asked Nico if he still thought that Raul Ruiz was going to be the danger man for Seattle. He said yes. I agree. When he plays well, Seattle wins. He scored 4 goals in their 2 most recent wins. So yeah, when they perform, when El Matador performs for Seattle, they do good things. But Ananda, we already know that Ricky's going to be out, Dayon potentially out, Martin potentially out. Who's got to be the guy for the Galaxy? Who's got to step up?
Yeah. Well, I think again, I'm gonna go a little bit off the beaten path. You know, I think we know that JP is gonna have to have a big game. Again, it's gonna depend too if Dayon starts or not, because I think he's really pivotal in this. But I'm gonna tell you a guy that we haven't talked about a lot recently, Robert, and he's been, in my opinion, sorely missed, and that's Mark Delgado. I think he's got to start stepping. Remember, Robert, the first 4 or 5 games this season, he was on fire. I even mentioned to you that it's, you know, he's has early season sort of best MVP for the Galaxy, you know, early season shouts because he was that good early on in the season. The last 5 games, I think he's regressed a little bit. And I think a lot of that has to do with, remember, we played LAFC and the last game, Austin, during that stretch. And, you know, they kind of cut off a lot of what Mark's really good at, which is, you know, making those deep line runs from midfield and getting in and behind the back 4 and creating those cutback or those chance creation opportunities, right? So in this game, I want to see if we can tactically, especially if there's no Dayon, if we can put Mark in those positions again. Remember, he was really effective in that right half space, working with Joseph Paintsil. You know, when someone comes in for the ball, he makes that outside run. He's been really operating a lot on that right-hand side. Can we get Mark Delgado back on track to be that main chance creator again? And in a little bit more in an advanced position. And to Nico's point, you know, he's talking about pushing Julian Aude back. Well, this time we've got to push Nuhu and Christian Roldan back, right? Depending on which side of the pitch that Mark Delgado operates on. But, you know, maybe he's not like a central focus key figure. But if we talk about what's going to help or guarantee the LA Galaxy will have a better chance in this game, for me, it's Mark Delgado, man, especially with the absence of Ricky Puig. I think that'll create more running lanes and more space for Mark Delgado to operate. And for Gaston and maybe Edwin Cirillo or Diego Fagundes, whoever steps in that role, you know, find those spaces and create those spaces and find those line breaking passes for Mark Delgado. So that's my guy, man, is a guy that we need this year. And you talked about we need a new contract for him. Well, we need to see him on the pitch and we need to see him getting back to his best.
A couple things here, and then I'll address your comments here about Mark.
Chat going off or what?
Well, executive producer Herb, unofficial prime minister of likes, he's reminding everybody in chat, and you know, please, if you're in chat, remind everyone you know. Yes. Go ahead and hit the subscribe or like button. Thank you, executive producer Herb. That was that heart was for you. Thank you so much. Interesting thought from Hector that Delgado hold back more because Brugman came back. I'll talk about that in one sec. Executive producer Herb queries if the Galaxy loses this weekend. Is a honeymoon phase over? Like I said, it might be a slippery slope. Jose Ramos says, let Sergio cook. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how Greg lines this up, especially if he doesn't have Ricky, especially if he doesn't have Decky. So anyway, I'm going to address this Mark slander here. I don't think he's regressed. I think he's returned to form. Like, I think at the beginning of the season, he was overperforming, and he's returned to mean now. You know, this is like the normal Mark. But yes, I think I didn't really pick up on that. But yeah, Brugman coming back puts him in a different role, like when Brugman wasn't in the lineup. I mean, he was lining up alongside Cerrillo. And now that Brugman's back, he kind of has been asked to take on a different role, not be so advanced. To your point, you'd like to see him a little bit more advanced. So that's an interesting point, Big Hack. Thank you so much for that one. Yeah, I agree. He needs to have that, not breakout game, but a game where, like, he shows the quality that he has again. Gets those couple of assists.
He's more influential. He's more influential, not just moving the ball around, but he's got his imprint on his game, creating more chances, right? Yeah.
Exactly. We are getting a couple of predictions already. Ananda, Pinchy Jalapeno says it's a 3-3. We also have
Big Hack.
Galaxy. Yeah, we have Big Hack with the Galaxy 2-1, escaping with the 3 points with the winning goal by Peck at the 91st minute. We have Ramizes 2-1, the Galaxy, and then I believe that's what we have so far. Yeah, man. So the Galaxy moved up to 6th in the MLS power rankings, while Seattle is in 27th. They did move up a couple spots as well. Ananda, hit us with those betting odds. And remember, everyone, bet responsibly.
Yes, sir. So let me go ahead and add those on stage. So betting odds, guys, as Rob says, bet responsibly. So this is per DraftKings. So Seattle is at a -105. LA Galaxy is at a +240, and a draw is at a +275. So from a winning percentage, that means Seattle is at the bookies are getting them a 51% chance of winning this game at Lumen Field, and the Galaxy at a +240. That means a 29% chance of winning. So at least the bookies are, of course, favoring the home team. That's not surprising, although Nico is favoring a Galaxy win, which is a little surprising, I think, for me. Which we'll get to all of our predictions first. Speaking of predictions, we got some more in the chat, Rob. Gary says 2-1 Seattle, sadly. Interesting.
That is
Jose Ramos goes 4-2 Galaxy. Let's go. Gary said the reason, and I love this, by the way, guys, if you do put your reasonings why too that you're putting these score lines. Gary said he doesn't trust our defense. Yeah, Gary said he doesn't trust our defense, which I don't disagree. So yeah.
Facts.
Interesting. Yep.
Leonardo Ruiz, playing devil's advocate here. He says, if the Galaxy have a losing record for the month of May, do you think Vanny will be in the hot seat since the majority of the season games run before August if we fall in the standings? No. They would have to, it would have to be like a catastrophic collapse at this point for Vanny to lose his job. I think we know what he can do with this team. Let's knock on wood, nothing crazy happens with like injuries or anything like that. And so no traemos el mal. Let's not bring the juju on him. So anyway, yeah, no, I don't think so. Ananda?
I don't think so either. I think he's proven already in the first 10 games that he's really with the tools that has been given to him by Will Kuntz, he's done a really, really good job. I think there's some things that we got to improve, like set piece defending, transition defending, and just defending in general. But I think that, I think these defensive additions are going to be a big help. What have we been missing, Robert? Speed in our back line. And I think we're getting that in the form of Jalen Neal and Miro Garces. So yeah, I would hope that trend starts reversing now. And yeah, hopefully that comes true.
Leo says, I'm burning Palo Santo, Sage, etc. to drive the bad juju away. Yeah, and don't forget to bring out the huevo too, like for the mal de ojo, so if they do go into that losing streak, I definitely will be right there along with you, but hopefully that does not happen. Ananda, hit us with your game prediction. Here we go. We have Nico with the Galaxy win. What are you calling?
Oh man, so this is a tough one, right? I feel like, especially after seeing that game live with you, Rob, like, man, like how could you not feel less confident about this team, right? I can't believe we just dropped that stinker. Well, here's the thing. Let's think about a few things, right? So 3:45 start. It's not early, but it's still a little early, right? So I don't know if we're gonna be like up for it. Then we're playing on turf, which usually I would say that's a not a good thing, but we pulled out a really good performance in Vancouver on turf, right? As someone said in the chat, I believe. So no Ricky. I think a lot of this is going to depend on Dayon. Look, I'll say this: if Dayon plays for us, I think it's going to be a 2-1 Galaxy win. If Miguel Berry starts at the number 9, I think it's going to be a 1-1 or even a 1-0 loss, Robert. So I think I know I'm kind of like straddling the fence and and being super
Well,
diplomatic about
there's
this.
variables. There's
I think,
variables.
yeah,
It's,
I think
I suppose I'll allow it. It's fair.
I think Decky's a big variable, and I again, even without Decky though, like if I see starting lineup an attacking 4 of Paintsil, Peck, Fagundes, and who would be the 4th? Like Mark Delgado, right? Like I'm gonna like my chances a lot more than if we see Miguel Berry on the number 9. And by the way, that's not a knock on Miguel Berry, because I feel like he's better off the bench. Give him 30 minutes when the defense is tired. Give him a run out, let him run at the defense, let him, be a nuisance in the box. We saw it in St. Louis, man. He did a pretty good job in the cameo. But when he starts, he's not as effective. So so again, if Decky starts, I think a 2-1 win. If not, a draw or even 0 points.
We have a couple of things from the chat here. We have Big Heck advocating for El Piojo. He's leaving Cholos, but then he says that he's just joking. And Pinche Jalapeno says in Piojo we trust, so looks like he's advocating for El Piojo. Jose Ramos says it feels like Vanny knows what he's doing, but at the same time it doesn't. And then sad face. Jose also wants to know, do we have any help from G2? I'm sure if we're missing Ricky, if Decky's not there, I'm sure they'll have some combination of Johnny Perez, Gino Vivi, potentially even Bibu. But it just, like Anana said, it depends on if Decky's in the lineup or not. Leo says, if Barry scores, I'll buy you both shots at the next home game. Hey, SADA indeed, right on.
See you at the cantina, Leo. No,
yes, we'll see you at the cantina in the corner over there. Watch Miguel Berry hat trick, Hattie incoming. But anyway, you
Robert,
called
your prediction. Yeah. I called like I said, if Decky starts a win, I shouldn't even get him storyline. A win, if or not, a dross. A dross, maybe a dross performance.
A draw that feels like a loss.
Exactly, a draw that feels like a loss, or the other way around, whatever. What are you thinking, man?
To be honest, the numbers have the Galaxy winning, but it's like they just have all that. Well, they just have all that bad history there, and no wins there since 2016. But at the same time, they've shown that they can like reverse trends this year. Getting the win in Vancouver, SKC. They also got the win over Seattle at home, when they hadn't beaten Seattle like in 5 or 6 games. So I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one too, man. And honestly, like I said, the numbers tell us it's going to be a Galaxy win. Nico tells us all this compelling storylines about Seattle, which make me feel like it's going to be a Galaxy win. But honestly, I'll be happy to get out of there with a draw. I'm calling a 2-2 draw. I'm just not optimistic after the look. They played a bad second half against San Jose. Yep. They played a stinker against Austin, so they've been not playing great over the last 130, 140.
So a game and a half. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And you know what, that leads me to the last thing I wanted to say about this game is, unlike Austin, Rob, I think number one, we've got to wake up. But the first, I would say 10 to 20 minutes of the game is going to tell me a lot on what's going to happen in this game.
Absolutely.
Remember, if I'm Coach Vanny and I'm in that locker room, right before the day before, I'm showing him tape from the first 20 minutes of Vancouver. We saw that in that first 20 minutes, we came there and with intent, Robert. So forget tactics, forget players, forget who's on the pitch. Number one thing that I want to see is intent. You know how I saw that? It was the rhythm of our passing. It was our pace of play. We were aggressive. We were on the front foot. In Austin, Rob, man, we got bullied, just like Bryant said. We got absolutely bullied, and we didn't show up. Right, we didn't show up. So I think first 20 minutes is going to be really important to show at least me as a fan what is the intent of the Galaxy coming into this game. Are we coming into this like pissed off and wanting to reverse what happened last week?
Yeah,
or are we gonna let the excuses pile up on us? Right. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean the Galaxy. You're dead on, man. They need to come in there with heart, with ganas, and be pissed off. You know that they were basically bullied and humbled and disrespected. You know they were first in the league, son. They went into Austin like, hey, we're trying to take our crown back, and Austin was like, not so fast, son. So,
And
says,
Seattle's there for the taking. Nico said it right, and he covers this team.
Right.
He watches this team every week. So go ahead, man.
No, I'm just gonna say Raul G has a comment in here. Our guys got to come out quick and aggressive with something to prove they deserve the hype in the top spots. I agree. Vamos. That's exactly what they need to do. They need to come out and they need to show why they've been first place. Leo also says with his prediction 2-1 Galaxy, Paintsell is going to Superman it early. Second goal rebound from Peck shot. Somebody else in there called a Peck goal as well. I believe it was Big Head called a Peck winner. Jose says Austin was such a disappointment, but I'm praying for that rebound. Yeah, they have to rebound. They absolutely need to rebound right here. It's going to be pivotal. Like I said, if they don't, they run into that slippery slope. Executive producer Herb says going forward, anytime Galaxy gives up the lead and ends in a tie, it will be known as a dross coined by Ananda. Yes, genius. Executive producer Herb. Don't pump him up, man, because then we're gonna be hearing how he coined that dross for the rest of the year.
Well, dross is also like the English term for like horrible. Like, for example, I've heard overseas, like in England, for example, they say that performance is absolute dross, mate, like kind of thing, you know. So I've heard that. But anyways, that's kind of where I got. I was like, dross. Yeah.
Well, Big Heck says intensity and physicality. We need it. Yeah. I mean, we were bullied. We were pushed around in Austin. Hopefully they've learned their lessons. When I've said it a bunch of times this year, when you lose, don't lose the lesson. Hopefully they learn their lessons and they carry them over to Seattle so they can get that win in Seattle that they haven't gotten since 2016. Well, Nico's calling a Galaxy win. Ananda's calling a Galaxy win if Decky starts. If not, a tie. A dross. And I'm calling a draw. Do you guys mean gross? We might. If the Galaxy lose, it might be gross. But yes, guys, we are of course going to be here with you for the match reaction. But after Seattle, the Galaxy are back home. They will host Real Salt Lake on Saturday, May 11th at 7:30. Like we've told you, it is Jalen Neal bobblehead night, and the Galaxy will be giving away 10,000 LED glow sticks there. We'll have a game preview for you on Thursday, May 9th at 9 p.m. Ananda, I think we're winding down here. Anything to add before I give us the last couple of things?
All I'm going to say is thank you so much, chat, again, for joining us. It was really fun talking to you guys and interacting with you guys, and you guys are on fire today, so I love that energy.
Yeah.
Keep bringing it for sure. And thank you, of course, to Parce Nico. I think you guys enjoyed him. He's so passionate. Like I said, I love bringing him on and talking to him about football, about MLS soccer for sure. And then the last thing, guys, I'm sure if Robert isn't going to remind me or remind you guys after this, I just want to remind you guys to join us for our 100th show, unofficial 100th show. And we talked about the all-star lineup.
Let them know who's on.
We're gonna have the big hitters in case you guys missed it at the top of the show. So we're gonna have let's see, Michelle and Christian from Simply Soccer Pod. We're gonna have Bryant from News Across the Galaxy. Keep on nagging. We're gonna have Profe Alex Ruiz from the Galactic Tribune and Eli Lesser, formerly known as This Week in MLS. And who knows, maybe we might have a surprise edition on the back end. Who knows, Robert? We'll see. But
I'm super excited because all these cats have been on the show before. We had a great time with them. It'll be great to have like a round. Tuxedos for the 100th show. Dang, I might get suited and booted. Big heck, who knows? So anyway, we are going to be having a roundtable discussion, and like Ananda said, we might not even like have a set agenda that day. We might just let it flow and have you guys a bunch of questions up in the chat.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, you can do one of those ask us anything things, and then we'll
That's dangerous.
Oh man, is it ever
with this chat, man? These guys are on fire.
Yeah, but we'll have, like Anana said, some of our past guests, and like I said at the top of the show, Avengers Assemble. It's going to be a great night, and you guys have helped us get there. Of course, if you're here, you found us on youtube.com /at Lacuna Galaxiana. Go ahead and let someone know, someone that you love. Let them know. Subscribe. You know what, Ananda? I'm feeling so hype about the 100th show. I'm gonna give away a couple t-shirts.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, man. Everybody knows Don Raul. Everybody knows his famous t-shirt with the five rings like Thanos. I'm for the 100th show. We're giving away a couple of these, so we will bring you more details on how to enter that. It might just be one of those things where we have you, enter the chat and play there, but we'll let you know more details on that. But yes, Don Raul will be one of those t-shirts that we will be giving away. So that is on the 100th show on Monday, May 6th at 9 p.m. with the Avengers. We're assembling them. We got them here, and it's going to be a great time. Ananda, anything else left to say? You got anything?
You got it, Papa.
Chat, we love you. Thanks for being with us. Thank you once again for getting us to 100 shows. We can't wait to break into it with you guys on Monday. Until we meet again, one thing left to say. G